You've tried everything. Dropshipping, affiliate marketing, coaching, freelancing, coding, trading, but the money just doesn't seem to stick. You're working hard, you're learning every day, you're doing something right, yet somehow you're still broke. So the truth is, it's not the business model that's failing, it's actually how you're approaching it. For context, I'm a high ticket sales coach and I went from 0 to 40K a month in under a year with the business model of high ticket sales myself. And I've gone on to help dozens of people stuck at $0 stack up consistent 5, 10, 20, and even up to 40K months. And from coaching all my students, I find that most people make the same 5 mistakes over and over again. So if that sounds like you, by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why you've been spinning your wheels online and what you can do differently so you can actually finally start making money online. Now, the first thing you have to understand is the internet doesn't pay you for effort, it actually pays you for mastery. What do I mean by that? Most people, they're chasing quick cash. They jump from one offer to another, new funnel to new platform, new side hustle to new online business, hoping that something will click. But what I realized is money doesn't follow movement, it actually follows mastery and skill. And the people who make real money online, not the people who make a couple dollars online, they aren't scattered, they're specialized experts. They pick one lane, one vehicle, and they go deep and master it. And then they build everything else around it. I'll give you a good analogy to explain this. Imagine having a garden, right? You have 10 different seeds. You plant all those individual seeds and you only have a limited amount of water, like a liter of water to pour for all of them. If you put an equal amount of water in each of the 10 seeds and you never end up watering it again and you're busy planting more and more seeds, nothing will ever grow deep enough to actually produce the fruit. So at the end of the day, I would rather you plant one seed, one vehicle, and put all the water into that, put all your energy into that. That way you can become a specialized expert. And this isn't just an analogy, like I can see this in the industry itself. So for context, I run a small community called DSA where I help students become high ticket sales reps. And one of my clients, Alan, he used to run a marketing agency and he also used to do drop shipping before that and tried sports betting and all these different business models. For 2 years, he wasted his time. And then he joined me and literally within 2 months, he went from making pretty much $0 from all the business models he tried to now doing $9,000 in the last 3 weeks in straight commissions, straight profits in his hands. It just goes to show at the end of the day, shiny object syndrome is most people's weakness and it's so easy to beat the game. So pick one lane, go deep, master one thing until the world pays you for it. Now, even if you pick one lane, most people still get trapped by this next one. And that's the fact that if you're scrolling or you're consuming more than you're selling and creating, you're losing. Most people confuse learning with progress. They watch hundreds of YouTube videos, they buy courses, they take notes, they look at information, but they never implement and execute on the information they actually consume. And the thing is, in their brain, they feel productive because they're consuming and they feel this, sense of happiness that they're actually doing something, but consumption never builds equity. At the end of the day, creators, producers, make money and consumers at the end of the day just make excuses. And a good analogy for this is, it's like imagine if you wanted to make the world's best cake, world's best chocolate cake, for example. It's like watching 100 cooking tutorials, so 100 hours worth of making the best cake, but never even turning on the stove, not even putting the flour in the bowl. Yeah, of course, you'll feel like a 5-star chef, but you're still hungry. You haven't got the reward. And not gonna lie, I used to be that person. Fast track 3-4 years ago, when I was in high school and even fresh out of high school, I used to be the guy that was doom scrolling 3 to 4 hours every single night, looking at people that were where I wanted to be, looking at people live the life that I wanted to be. And I would just scroll and scroll and scroll and think to myself that, hey, I'm being productive because I'm looking at people where I want to be. Sure, that is not the entire truth, because I felt good about myself because I was comparing myself to them and felt like I was doing something, but in reality, my life didn't change. My bank account stayed at 0. I didn't implement any of the actions. I lost sleep because of that. And if anything, it affected my mental health. So at the end of the day, when I stopped consuming and I started creating, I started doing something about it. I started learning a real skill. That's when everything changed for me. I went from chasing clients to actually attracting them. Sweet. Now that you know you need to master one skill, and in that one skill, you need to create, not consume. Even though you know these things, you can still fail because most people run away from the one thing that actually builds wealth. And basically, if you don't feel painful, if it doesn't stretch you, it won't pay you. Everyone wants success, but no one wants discomfort. You avoid the sales calls. You avoid the outreach. You avoid the rejection. You avoid the judgment. You avoid exhaustion. All these things that actually make money, you want the growth without those growing pains. But what I realized is the market, the online business, the universe only pays people who can actually handle discomfort. For example, a lot of you watching this might go to the gym and take good care of your health. It's like going to the gym, but refusing to lift heavy. Like you want to be jacked, you want to have a six pack, you want to do all these things, you want to be in the best physical shape of your life. But you and I both know that if you don't lift heavy, if you don't diet, if you don't control your calories, you're never going to get jacked. You'll feel good because on the inside, it feels like you're going to the gym and you're lifting your little light weights, but you'll never grow muscle. So comfort is the treadmill that looks like progress, but keeps you in the same place. And really where I learned this lesson was during my high ticket sales career. So basically I went from 0 to 10K a month really quickly within 6 months. And as soon as I hit 10K a month, I'm not going to lie, like I felt like an absolute king. And I definitely got very comfortable with where I was, traveling around Asia, hanging out with my high ticket sales friends, making good money for my age at 18. And honestly, I thought that I was putting in a lot of hard work at that time. Looking back, I'm laughing because I do a lot more work now, and what I thought was hard work then is nothing compared to where I am today. And basically what was required for me to go from 10 to 40K a month, for me to quadruple my income, was to realize that I need to feel uncomfortable. I need to do double the hours. I need to hurt my brain more. I need to learn more skills. I need to master my skill to the next level. And that level of discomfort is a big major play as to what quadrupled my income from 10 to 40K a month at the age of 19. So yeah, main takeaway here is your next income level lies on the other side of discomfort. Chase the tasks that make your stomach drop, because that's where the money hides. And I've gotten to the point where now I like to look at the hardest task possible and just get it out the way. Just embrace those failures. Now, even if you're taking action, there's another trap that keeps you stuck at the beginner level with the 99% that's trying to make money online. And what they don't understand is tactics expire, but principles print forever. Most people copy viral scripts, funnels, hooks, business models. They see some random guy doing trading, so they want to do trading. They see someone at the gym working out, and that's super jacked, so they just do a random gym workout that they're doing without really understanding why they even work in the first place. They treat these tactics like shortcuts, not tools. And the biggest difference between tactics and principles is tactics will work in the short term. Yeah, you will get results from these tactics. However, it won't last. I guarantee you. You might make your first couple grand, but then that can all go away down the line. Once you understand the principles behind why certain business models works and why your script works, that's when you actually make money. So top earners don't rely on tactics. They actually master principles. They master skill sets. And a good example to describe this is I'm just going to go back to the gym, because honestly, the gym is very aligned with online business and self-development. It's like going to the gym and seeing someone that has your dream body. I'm sure you can all think of that one guy that has your dream body, and just copying their entire workout plan blindly without understanding their form, without understanding their experience, without understanding their diet. You might look busy and it might work in the short term. However, you're not building the right fundamentals, the right muscles that actually work for you. So main takeaway here is study principles, think like a strategist and not a script reader. And once you understand why things work, you'll never be dependent on trends again. And really ask yourself this question. Have you ever had this point where you've tried a business model and you've given it a shot for a couple months, and then you kind of move to the next business model, and then another business model, and then trading, and then affiliate marketing, and then e-com, and then whatever it is? Well, why do you do that? It's because you actually didn't stick to one thing and understand why it works. Right? Understand the principles behind it. Understand the skill sets behind it. This is why 99% of people just stay broke when they try to make money online. Now, even if you understand all these things, that you have to master one skill, you have to act like a creator, you have to make sure that you avoid comfort, and even if you know that you have to understand principles and skills and not tactics, you can know all these things, but most people will still fail because of this one final thing. And that's the fact that you can't learn millionaire habits from non-millionaire friends. The biggest killer of progress, it isn't laziness, it's actually isolation. And I see this a lot in this industry of especially young people saying things like, this is my lock-in season, or I'm gonna lock in. And honestly, it makes me cringe a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I was this person. At 18, 17 years old, I used to say this all the time, on a daily basis. I used to say I'm locked in or dialed in. And I just think it's a very cringy way to think about life, and it doesn't really work because proximity accelerates growth. Being around winners normalizes success, and you don't just learn information, you actually absorb standards. And a really good way to think about this is imagine if you're trying to swim. You're trying to learn how to swim, okay? And the way you go about learning how to swim is by reading a bunch of books about how to swim and surrounding yourself with people who are literally dead scared of water and don't know how to swim as well. You'll never learn how to float and survive if you're in a pool with people that don't know how to swim. So the only way you can learn swimming is, one, don't read about it, go and do it. And number two, surround yourself with other swimmers, people that have done this for years and years and already have example in the space. So for context, when I started off, one of the best decisions, and forever thank my 18-year-old self, that I made was before I even started to learn high-ticket sales, I invested in a mentor. I had the balls, I had the courage to go all in and actually invest into someone that has been in it for 5-6 years already. That way I can prevent the mistakes that nearly every beginner does. And that was a big reason for my success from 0 to 40K a month in under a year, which is not normal in the make money online space. So yeah, my main takeaway here is stop trying to do it solo, get in rooms where winning is normal, and you'll learn more in 3 months around high performance than you'll learn in 3 years. So yeah, I hope that gives you a lot of clarity as to why you keep failing to make money online. It's not because you can't do it. It's not because you're not talented. It's not because you're born different. It's because you've just been playing the wrong game. So do all the things that I just told you, and you will stop trying to make money online, and you'll actually go to start earning it consistently on a daily basis. And if you have any questions on any of my takeaways and my journey and my story, feel free to hit me up on DMs on Instagram. I'll drop a link in the description below. And if you have any challenging thoughts or you agree with any of the things I said, just flick me a message and I'll let you know my thoughts on it. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.